And welcome back to Comment Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, and this is take 3 or 4 on this video. The first 2 or 3 turned out really blurry, so I had to reshoot them. So anyway, I'm going to try to keep it brief. I keep going really long on these, so maybe I'll be able to condense this one. Basically, I am talking about WWE's TLC and Stairs pay-per-view that took place last night, Sunday, December 14th. And this was the last pay-per-view of the year. We're not going to get another one for 6 weeks, which I'll talk about later. And it was pretty good. Not as good as Survivor Series, which was last month, but it was still pretty good. I will go ahead and spoil this one thing. Sting did not show up at this pay-per-view. I don't know who really expected him to. I expect him to show up at the Royal Rumble, actually. I think it would be cool if he ended up being like a surprise entrant or whatever. Anyway, so the way this video is going to work is I'm going to do a non-spoiler section up front, just giving my overall take on the pay-per-view, and then I'll go into full spoilers, breakdown of every match. Before I do that, though, if you want to see like my prep, I did this little cooking thing, which it wasn't really cooking, it was frozen food that I reheated and seasoned. But anyway, if you want to see that in that prep time and my initial reaction in between some of the matches, I'm putting up a video on mine and Lisa Moore's channel, Where's My Tail. You can find it at tinyurl.com/whereismytail, and I'll include a link in the show notes to the video once it's up as well, and to the YouTube channel. So you can go find that over there. It's part of the Vlogmas stuff that we're doing over there. So anyway, on to the non-spoiler section of this. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give my score for the pay-per-view, which is a 4 out of 5. I would give Survivor Series last month a 4.5 out of 5. TLC and Stairs, which Michael Cole kept calling TLC and Chairs, which, well, it's redundant, obviously. But yeah, it was a little bit better than TLC. TLC was good, but not quite that good. So, and there, overall, I think all the matches were pretty solid. There was only a couple that were both containing 2 big guys. One of them actually included the big guy. But most of the matches were pretty solid, except for those 2 were a little bit iffy, and one match I didn't really care about, but was still a good match. So, first off the pre-show, we had New Day versus Goldust and Stardust to kick things off. Really cool match there, and I'll go into more detail in the in the spoiler version. The 2 matches of the night for me were the opening match and the closing match. The opening match was Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper for the Intercontinental title. It was a ladder match, and that was a really great match. Dolph Ziggler, he was amazing. And Luke Harper was really good too. And I think this match kind of defined both their careers, so we'll see what happens going forward. And again, more details about that in a minute. And the final match was Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt in the TLC match, which again, it really stole the show for me personally. It was the match of the night, and it was as unpredictable and chaotic as you would expect from these 2. Didn't matter who won, because both of them are fan favorites, even though they're on opposite sides of the heel-face fence. And it was an awesome match, so not more I can say about that. In between, like I said, Seth Rollins and Cena was better than expected. There was some surprises in that match as well. The Divas Championship match really took me by surprise. I'll go into detail about that later too. But I was impressed with both ladies in the match. Big Show and Erick Rowan, it was about what you would expect. And same thing with Kane and Ryback. The Jack Swagger match was the one I completely forgot about. And the Miz/Mizdow versus the Usos was, again, as you would expect, but it was still a good match, as you can always expect from those 4. So let's just say that overall I enjoyed the pay-per-view a lot. I was really excited about it from start to finish. I did have to stop in between a little bit, so I ended up finishing it really late. But luckily with WWE Network for $9.99. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse from recording these videos over and over again. But I was able to watch it whenever, and I love that. I love the WWE Network, and I think you should take advantage of it, because you get all the pay-per-views basically for free, $10 a month, and you get every single pay-per-view. Anyway, I'm not going to promote their service. I appreciate the service. I just wish Raw and SmackDown were on there too. So anyway, yeah, I think if you have the network, there's no reason you shouldn't watch this pay-per-view. It was really solid, really good. Was it worth the pay-per-view cost on cable, which was probably, what, $50? I don't know what the going rate is anymore because I've had the network for several months now. And it's been a long time since I bought a pay-per-view. So $50 a month, $60 a month, whatever. I don't know if it's worth that. It would definitely be worth like $40, I'd say. In terms of pay-per-view costs. It didn't blow my mind. It wasn't like, oh my god, like Survivor Series had Sting come out. It wasn't that, but there was a returning superstar. There was, some nice progression to some of these feuds. So yeah, in that regard, it was a really good pay-per-view. Like I said, 4 out of 5. So that concludes the non-spoiler part of this. And I apologize if I am rushing through this. I know the last few times I recorded it went really long, and I've said this same thing over again 3 times already. So I'm just trying to get it all in and trying to remember the order of the matches and everything. So here we go into the spoiler portion of this review. So if you have not seen TLC and Stayers yet, you need to go watch it and then come back here and watch this. And I'll wait. You done? So it's pretty good, right? Okay, so let's break it down. Pre-show, New Day versus Goldust and Stardust. Please, announcers, stop calling them Star and Goldust or Gold and Stardust. Just call them their names. It sounds stupid when you say it like that. Anyway, I appreciate the concept of the New Day. I'm not totally sold on the individuals yet, but I love the concept because it's a throwback to old school 6-man tag teams like the Freebirds. Teams like that where you would never know which two you were getting. But in this case, it was Big E and Kofi Kingston versus versus Stardust and Goldust, and it was a really solid match. I love the fact also that their double team move, the New Days, it can be done with any combination of those 3 guys, even though Big E is kind of the catalyst with that particular move. But it's really cool. I like the chemistry there. Maybe it's what each one of those guys needed because they weren't really going anywhere in the state that they were before this. So, and Gold and Stardust, now I'm doing it. Goldust and Stardust, solid as ever. Goldust is in the best shape of his life. He looks great. He did a really good power slam on Big E. Stardust did his disaster kick from the top rope, which looked great. This was. You had power, you had high flying, you had great spots in this, you had a lot of energy. It was a nice way to get you prepped for the actual pay-per-view. Of course, New Day took the victory. They beat Stardust and Goldust, and it was kind of funny because Big E went to pin, I think it was Stardust, and Kofi had to push him off because he was the legal man. So that was funny. A little bit of a misstep, but it was fine. He was just excited. Alright, so getting into the actual pay-per-view, kick off things like I said, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Long story short, Dolph Ziggler won, becoming the 4-time Intercontinental Champion, and it was a fantastic match. A lot of high spots, of course, with the ladders. Dolph Ziggler got punished left and right with the ladders upside his head and stuff. Luke Harper got knocked off one ladder and landed on another ladder that was bridged between the apron of the ring and I think it was the announce table. And that was a really nice spot. And to finish the match, you had them both on ladders side by side and Dolph Ziggler with a super kick to knock him off, and then he reaches up there and grabs the title. And it was fantastic. JBL was calling this. He was comparing it to Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon from, I believe it was WrestleMania 10. And, that's a huge compliment to compare these two guys. And he said you watch each superstar's career to see when a guy becomes that guy. And JBL said this about Dolph Ziggler, that he felt like he saw Dolph Ziggler become that guy. So this could really be career defining for Dolph Ziggler and maybe even Luke Harper as well, because they were both excellent in the match. Fantastic, second best match of the night, in my opinion. Okay, next up we had, I believe it was the tag team titles, Usos versus Miz and Mizdow. Beforehand, you saw Miz talking to Naomi saying, if we win, everything's good for you with the music producer or whatever. So, it was kind of that seed planted in our minds. Is Naomi going to get involved and cost her husband the match here to save her career? What's going on here? But she never comes down. It's high flying match with the Usos, pretty much ruling the match from the get go. Damien Mizdow doing his normal antics and stuff, but he caused a distraction and almost cost the Usos the victory. It's always exciting to watch these four in action. It ended up, though, with a disqualification as Miz clocked one of the Usos over the head with the Slammy Award and then clocked the other one after the match was over. That's how it had to go. You couldn't have the Usos beat Miz and Mizdow because then that would end the feud. They need to be chasing those titles right now. It's the good place for them, especially with this backstory with Naomi going on. And you don't want to see Miz and Mizdow beat the Usos either because they're heels. They're not supposed to clean win. So it made sense. It worked out just the way it was supposed to, and I enjoyed it. Third match was Erick Rowan versus Big Show in the stairs match. This match was okay. It was better than expected, but not quite as good as it could have been. In my opinion, I think Erick Rowan is still really green. Not really green, but he's still pretty green. There was a few times that Big Show went to slam him into stuff, and he was just really hesitant to hit it, and it showed, and it was obvious, and it just looked fake. So, but Big Show was carrying the match really well. Some of the best work I've seen Big Show do in a while. He was tossing this big 6'7", 300-pound man around like he was a rag doll, and it was pretty impressive. He speared him through these steel stairs that Erick Rowan had built up like Abyss from TNA. He was just like rearranging the furniture. It was kind of neat to see that, because it fits his character. But Big Show, he showed that his character has respect for Erick Rowan's by the way he defeated him, because he chokeslammed him on the stairs. Then while he's on his knees recovering, he uses the knockout punch in the back of his head, and then to make sure he stays down, he puts the stairs on top of him and leans on him to pin him. So really nice finish regardless. And so fourth match was surprisingly John Cena versus Seth Rollins, which I thought this was going to be the final match. It was going to be the main event, but they put it in the middle of the show. It was a tables match, and if John Cena lost, he would lose his number one contendership. Paul Heyman at ringside, of course, watching, because if John Cena wins, he's definitely going to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, as we learned. So this match was really good too. John Cena was at the top of his game. Seth Rollins is always at the top of his game. And there was a lot of false table finishes, like they were going to go through it and this and that. And at one point, John Cena throws Seth Rollins through a table, but the referee's knocked out so he doesn't see it. So then J&J security is getting involved. They're taking tables away from Cena. He tosses one of them into the timekeeper area, which was like the third time already that somebody had been tossed there. And then Rollins has him beat, but he somehow gets out of it. I can't remember if the referee was down or what. And then Cena rallies back, and he's got Rollins beat again, and out comes Big Show. And Big Show comes down and is about to choke slam John Cena, and all of a sudden, da-da, da-da, da, and it's Roman Reigns music hits, and he comes out of the crowd. He Superman punches Big Show, and then he spears him through a table. Then Seth Rollins jumps in with the Money in the Bank suitcase, or briefcase, and tries to hit Roman Reigns in the head, but he ducks. Superman punches him. John Cena grabs him. Attitude adjustment through the table for the win. John Cena is still your number one contender. Roman Reigns is back. He's backstage later, says he came to make an impact, and he said if you liked what he did last year in the Royal Rumble, you ain't seen nothing yet. He's going to top it. So he was the first person to declare himself as an entrant into the Royal Rumble for 2015. Fantastic conclusion to that match. And let's see, up next, I believe, was the tag team titles, Usos versus Miz and Mizdow. No, that was before. I already said that one, didn't I? Did I say that one? I can't remember. Yeah, I talked about that one already. I'm getting the order confused, and I apologize. I think Rollins and Cena was before the tag titles, but I could be wrong. It's starting to get foggy on me now. Kane and Ryback. See, it's all getting confusing because I've done this so many times now. I had it right the first few times. Anyway, Kane and Ryback at some point in the show fought, and it was a decent match. It was, again, as you could expect, two big guys, not a lot of movement, not a lot of action, just a bunch of power moves here and there. There was some really nice power exhibited by Ryback, tossing Kane up on his shoulder, doing a shoulder slam. He did a Scott Steiner-like arm in, spinning belly-to-belly suplex on Kane, which looked really nice. Kane, towards the end, when it looked like he was going to win, Ryback was going for the meat hook clothesline, and Kane throws a chair into his face and then choke slams him, but Ryback gets up. So then Kane does this. He's got a chair there. He was about to tombstone him on the chair, but he escapes, does the meat hook, delivers the shell shock, and Ryback takes the win. Okay, Divas title match, AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella with Brie Bella in her corner. Now, I'm not a fan of the Bellas. I always thought they were pretty talentless for a long time, but I will say, and I'm proud to admit this because I like it when people prove me wrong, I appreciated Nikki Bella's improvement. You know, I think AJ Lee is hands down one of the best female wrestlers in the business today, and definitely in the WWE. But Nikki Bella really showed that she's been training and trying to improve and trying to get better and trying to become, what she's billed to be, which is a superstar, a diva, a WWE diva. So she was holding her own against AJ, and it was a really fantastic match. Brie Bella got involved, but she got caught and thrown out. But as she was leaving, Nikki grabbed something and sprayed AJ in the eyes, then hit her with the rack attack. But I do want to mention, obviously Nikki Bella retained the title by underhanded means, but there was one point where she had AJ wrapped around the ring post, and she was outside, and she pulled her, and she basically had her leg pulled up to her head and was just contorting her. And I don't know, it was a really good match. I was really impressed and really surprised. So, all right, so the match that I had forgotten was even on the card: Rusev versus Jack Swagger for the United States title. I'm sick of this feud. I don't want to see it anymore. I understand why they keep going back to it. Who else is going to stand up for the USA? Personally, I don't know what's going on with TNA or Impact, whatever you want to call it, because my cable company decided to drop Spike TV several months ago. So I haven't seen it for a long time. I don't know if he's still with the company or not, or if he left. I haven't been watching the rumor sites and all that stuff. But I would love to see Kurt Angle make a return to the WWE, finish out his career there, and be the guy to come in and take out Rusev. But no, we had Jack Swagger, and to his credit, he got in there and basically ruled the match for most of the match, and it was a short match. But he hurt Rusev's ankle early on, had him reeling, was manhandling him, got him in the Patriot Lock a couple of times. He escaped the Accolades camel clutch. And the way it ended, he had him in the Patriot Lock, and Rusev kicked him. Somehow they ended up outside, and Rusev did the jump kick to his face. And then he got him back inside, did the jump kick again, put him in the Accolade. And it took him a while, but he finally tapped out. So Rusev still wins and still retains the U.S. title. Now we get to the main event. Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, TLC match. Like I said earlier, as chaotic and unpredictable. Sorry about that, the camera timed out. I guess this one's going to be long too. So anyway, as chaotic and unpredictable as you would expect, these two both delivered. It was fantastic going back and forth. For the first half of the match, Dean Ambrose just kicked Bray Wyatt's butt. I mean, just pillar to post, he was ruling the match. Had him backed up against the corner. He was hitting him with, railed on him with kendo sticks, hitting him with chairs, running him into ladders. He took him up the aisleway, placed him on a table, climbed up a ladder, dropped the elbow on him. Then he said, "No, I'm not done yet." Put him on another table, climbed a taller ladder, dropped the elbow on him, took him back in the ring, but he rolls him in the ring first, and somehow Bray Wyatt gets up, nails him with the Sister Abigail. He kicks out. Apparently the camera hates me today. Sorry. One more time. Sister Abigail on him as he put Bray back in the ring. He kicks out, and from that point on, Bray Wyatt led the match for most of the remainder of the match until towards the end they start going back and forth a lot, and Bray Wyatt almost gets him in the Sister Abigail again. Ambrose counters, almost pins him. There's one point where they had a ladder propped up in the ropes, and Bray tried to send Ambrose in it, and he counters. Then he hits him with the dirty deeds. But he kicks out. He's got him incapacitated, and he goes outside the ring. He's digging under the ring for something, and he finds a TV that Michael Cole explains to us that was left there for the technicians to reference something or rather. So as he's looking at the TV, something catches his eye. So he takes off walking down the aisleway back towards the stage, and he finds this huge ladder, like probably the size Jeff Hardy used to jump off of. And Michael Cole or somebody was like, "That's the tallest ladder in the building." I think it was Lawler actually, but right behind it was like this ridiculously tall ladder. Anyway, so he brings it all the way down to the front, clears off the Spanish announce table, places Bray on that, climbs the ladder, and for the third time drops the elbow. But then he struggles to get Bray into the ring. Finally gets him in the ring, and he picks up the TV and goes to hit him, but it's attached to the cord still, so he can't get it to Bray. So he goes back and tugs at it a little bit, then goes to hit him again, and the cords snap out, sparks fly, smoke, light, it blinds him. He reacts perfectly, falls down, holding his eyes, and struggles to his feet. And as he gets to his feet, Sister Abigail 1, 2, 3 for the pin. Now, I thought that was fantastic. It was creative. It was innovative. It was something we haven't seen, lately at least, for a while. So I appreciated it. I saw a couple of other reviews that were like, "This was stupid. Apparently, blah blah blah." They forget that wrestling, like any other medium of entertainment, requires a bit of suspension of disbelief. So stop trying to put realism in every single aspect of everything you ingest for entertainment, people. It was entertainment, and it was entertaining. It was fun. I appreciated it. I thought it was fantastic. It was a great finish. It didn't matter who won, who lost, what happened. It was just a fantastic match from start to finish. Stole the show. These two guys, there's a reason why they were the main event. So, enough said. Fantastic pay-per-view overall, 4 out of 5 for TLC and Stairs 2014. Now we have to wait 6 long weeks for my favorite event of the year, the Royal Rumble. So, that's going to wrap up this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you saw the pay-per-view, let me know what you think in the comments below. And let me know what you thought about this review. If you would like to see me continue to review pay-per-views here on Comic Frontline, let me know. So until next time, check out all the other content we have here on Comic Frontline. Lisa and I will be doing a 1-up unboxing on Frontline Gaming Zone coming up soon. We got it in the mail today, so be on the lookout for that. Let's see. Check out our channel, Where's My Tail, where we're doing Vlogmas, and we're going to be doing other unboxings. My loot crate is going to be over there now, and some other stuff we got upcoming as well. We got some other haul videos, cooking videos, stuff like that. So check that out. This weekend, this Friday, is the 300th episode of Zone 4. It will be right here on Comic Frontline as well. We have a special guest dropping by, so tune in for the special Christmas-themed 300th episode of Zone 4. And check out comicrelated.com, comicfrontline.com, zone4podcast.com to gather all your number one source for all your comic news, reviews, podcasts, and so much more. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.